I'm out here at the PGA Tour Superstore taking a look at the brand new GT lineup of drivers from Titleist. We've got the GT 2, 3, and 4. We're going to look at all the similarities and differences of these drivers and put them to the test.
All three of these are beautiful drivers, but are they worth the astounding $649 price tag? Well, let's get to work and find out. Let's discuss the common traits they share. First is the material used. While the crown of these drivers look nearly identical to the last generation of Titleist TSR drivers, here in 2024 we have a new proprietary material being used. Titleist calls this a seamless thermoform crown, and it's engineered from a matrix polymer. That's fancy marketing speak for an ultra lightweight material that allows Titleist to create split mass construction. You can see that here in this image. Basically, there's more weight towards the face and more towards the rear of the club, allowing them to optimize the ball speed and the stability of the head at impact, which should lead to straighter shots in theory. Now, getting to the face of these drivers, they feature a speed ring and variable face thickness, which is designed to improve your miss hits. Now, the TSR line was pretty amazing in this department, so I'm certainly interested in finding out if the forgiveness can be improved upon, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't a tad bit skeptical that we'll actually see noticeable improvements. Those TSRs were just too good. The last bit of improvement that these all share is what Titleist refers to as Tour-inspired graphics. This is supposed to help your eye align the ball a little bit better. Honestly, I see very little difference from the TSR line apart from it being a little darker, but you be the judge. So breaking down the GT line, you've got the GT2, and now this is going to be the most forgiving option. It features a much bigger head, it's optimized for higher trajectory, and it features one interchangeable weight at the back. Overall, the club is longer from front to back, but it's also got a bit of a shallower face from top to bottom than the others in this line, so they've really focused on improving your toe and heel strikes here. The GT3 is going to be a great all-arounder, and it's aimed at the better ball strikers who want more flexibility and controlling ball flight and who want to maximize their ball speed. The key differences here are the smaller head with a deeper face, and most noticeably a new adjustable CG track so you can tune your shot shape. In the TSR, this was located at the back of the club, but the new system here in the GT3 moves it right near the face. I think that's a more logical spot myself. Now, I assume the GT3 is going to be my favorite of the bunch, but of course we're going to find out once I take some swings. Lastly, we have the low spin model, the GT4. It's the smallest head in the series, but just by a little bit. There are two weight ports that are swappable. With these, you can choose between a more stable option or a super low spin setting. This one is going to be aimed at the big hitters, certainly not mere mortals with a swing speed like mine around 100 miles per hour, but I'll of course test it nonetheless just to see how different it is.
First up here, GT2. Woo! Talk about straight. Well, I hit the line on the first one there, and that carried a very long way. It felt better than I would have expected, honestly. It felt great. Ball speed was 150. Hit that a little low on the face. Little low, little heel side. Lost some yardage, but still over 250. Still, that's gonna find a fairway. Woo. Still got that nice, like the TSR3, what I loved about that was that thuddy sound. This has that too. I was a little worried with the new material on the crown we wouldn't get that, but we are. Now I hit that high on the face. 265 is where that finished. Backspin again, really good number, 2597. Very, very consistent results here. Let me take one more. Whew. I'm losing all of them just a little bit to the right, but that's right center of fairway. That rolled out to 275 again. Ball speed 146. When I saw 150, that was something special for me. I'm going to change over now here to the GT3, but that was a good start. Next up here is the GT3. Now this head shape is going to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, much more similar to my TSR3, but still maybe just a touch bigger than that one. At least the face looks massive on this thing. All right, shot one. Now I hit that one a little high up on the face. Again, we're pushing that one to the right a little bit here. That carried about 250. It rolled on to 270. Not bad for a miss hit. Spin was up a little higher there, 27.58. I think that was just really due to impact. Much more solid strike there. That's got a little draw to it. And that's gonna run out to 285. Wow, ball speed 152 there. Backspin 23.34, even better. Shot 3. That one's off the toe. And if that's what I get off a toe strike, I'll be very, very happy out on the course. Toe strike 269. Backspin 2400, so it's a better number for me. Better strike there. I don't know if it was dead center, but it was definitely better. Now, as you can see, the dispersion a little wider here though with this model, the GT3, so you got to be a little better ball striker to play this club. Again, I think that's going to be hit a long way, but our miss is a little bit longer as well. All right, so definitely the potential there for higher ball speeds even with the GT3, but the miss can also be considerably more as well, so that's going to be the trade-off there. Let's go next to the GT4. All right, now we've got the GT4. This is going to be for your better players. This is going to be the low spin model, people that generate the most amount of their own club head speed. Not necessarily for us mere mortals, but I'm going to try it nonetheless just to see what the differences are. Here we go. Whew. Man, it just felt great. These all feel maybe a touch better than the TSR 3 series, which was a little like stiff feeling. Similar sound, but maybe just feels a little bit more compressed. That was right next to our best of the GT3 there. Ball speed 148. Now you can see that spin number, big difference, 1856, shot 2. Ooh, another really good one. That one's rolling out to 281. Ball speed 147, carried 252, total 281. Backspin again, look at that number, 1764. So much less spin here. That one was a little bit heel side. As you can see, kind of lost it off to the right there a bit. I still think it would probably catch the right side of a fairway. Our backspin was up there on that type of strike though, 2764, carry 242, total 263, ball speed 145. Oof, now that's what happens off the toe, and that's a big difference than my toe strike with the GT3. That one much further right. Definitely lost ball speed there, 140. Backspin 2273, which isn't necessarily a bad number, but it is a bad number for this driver, and that only carried 240. But look how wide it is. That's way out there on the right. All right, fifth and final shot here. Oh, and it's strong. Might be my best one, maybe. Go, baby, go. 285. So, here's the story with the GT4. When you hit it well, it's really, really good. As you can see, it's as long as the GT3 was for me. And we've got 3 balls very consistently in a nice little bunch when hit well. But when you don't hit it well, you've got much wider dispersion, the most dispersed of the 3 for me. And of course, you're going to have much less spin. So if you need to get a little spin to get the ball up in the air for that extra carry distance, you're not going to get it out of this driver. But if you generate your own power, this could be the one for you.
All right, let's take a look at the stats here. We'll start off with ball speed numbers. This is pretty surprising. With the GT2, I averaged 145.7 miles per hour. With the GT3, 146.3 miles per hour, so up a little bit there. and down a little bit with the GT4 at 145.6 miles per hour, literally the slowest of the three, which is interesting. Now, in terms of launch angle, 13.1 degrees with the GT2, 14.5 degrees with the GT3, and 13.2 degrees with the GT4. If we look at spin numbers, 2790 RPM with the GT2, 2585, which is probably the best number for me, I think, to get optimal results with the GT3 there. And the GT4, clearly our lowest spinning option at 2078. And you can see a couple outliers there at 1732 RPM, 1764 RPM. That definitely fits the description that Titleist gave us, that this is going to be the low spin model. So you've got to generate your own ball speed with that GT4. Now, if we look next at the offline numbers and we look at the standard deviation, this is going to be how tight and compact that dispersion map is. You can see 9.3 yards standard deviation with the GT2, 32.4, so considerably wider with the GT3. So if you're looking for consistency, you're looking to find more fairways, it's really clear here that the GT2 is going to be the one that wins out. If we talk next here about peak height, you had 32 yards of peak height with the GT2, nice and high, but it goes even higher there with the GT3 for me, 35 yards, and the lowest with the low spin model, the GT4, at 28 yards. That kind of makes sense. But let's see what that did in terms of carry numbers. 246 with the GT2, 250 with the GT3, and 250 as well with the GT4. That actually is kind of surprising. I would have thought with that little extra peak height and that little extra spin out of the GT3, we would have carried it just a little bit longer, but it was the same as the GT4. Now, when it comes to rollout, of course, the GT4, we should see a little bit more, but let's go through the numbers here. 266 is our total with the GT2, 271, a great number for me with the GT3. But even better, 274 with that GT4. So, of course, lower spin, you're going to get a little bit more rollout. And yeah, really interesting numbers here. I think it's really clear to me that Titleist did a great job here with this model lineup. You've got forgiveness in the GT2 for sure. You've got pure distance and low spin with the GT4, but you're going to have to generate your own power, of course. In GT3, really our best ball speed numbers. And of course, I love the adjustability built into the GT3 as well. So a pretty amazing line of drivers Titleist has put out with this new GT series. And I think they go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with my favorite drivers of 2024, including the QI10 and the Ping 10K Max. I think in terms of forgiveness, this is on par. And there's absolutely something to what the engineers at Titleist have done here, trying to maximize off-center hits here with the GT line. Now at $649, I got to admit, this is a tough pill for any golfer to swallow. And if you're an existing TSR user like I was, is it worth the upgrade? You've got to be wondering that for sure. I certainly am. So in an upcoming video, I'm going to be putting my TSR3 right up against the GT3 to find out if it is indeed worth it, or if you can step back and buy the TSR line and save a few bucks. We'll find that out together, so make sure you're subscribed, you don't miss it, and I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play